Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. New Zealand against Italy. Who saw that coming? 96 points to 17. The All Blacks almost put 100 points on Italy. They could have done it at the end, but they ended up conceding a try instead. I don't know how many key events we can go through because the All Blacks scored a ton of tries. When you score more than a point a minute, there's not kind of much point in going through it. But some general thoughts. And you guys can let us know your thoughts on the game. Pretty crazy. I mean, the All Blacks, that's a training run. I'm not sure how much good that does the All Blacks in terms of facing a really tough quarterfinal in all likelihood in a couple of weeks. This was supposed to be, apart from the France game, the other kind of big game of the pool. It had a bit of a kind of knockout game feel for the All Blacks, having lost that pool game to France earlier, that they needed to put in a big shift. And they just obliterated the Italians, man. Scrum time, totally dominant. Line-out time, very dominant. Breakdown, dominant. Like all the key areas you need to be dominant, the All Blacks were there. And Italy were just soft, man. Like if you're an Irish fan or a South African fan or maybe even a Scottish fan looking at a quarterfinal potentially against the All Blacks, are you thinking like, wow, the All Blacks were amazing, I don't want to play them? Or are you thinking, geez, the Italians were poor? They let the All Blacks run away with it. I don't know. Maybe a bit of both. But the All Blacks started with some pressure early. They went like 11 phases inside the Italians' 22 before a cross kick to Will Jordan. Hell of a finish, man. Magic finish. For the first one, 7 points to 0. New Zealand conceded a penalty after the restart, which is kind of a poor one from them. Conceding a penalty 7-3, which is, not ideal. You don't want to be conceding points after you've just scored, but they did. Then they kicked the restart out on the full, but when Varney kicked the ball into New Zealand's 22 for like a New Zealand 5-meter line-out, that was about peak Italy for this game. They were only 4 points down, and New Zealand had made an error. Italy had capitalised on it. That's about as good as it got. And from then, it was just all downhill. Aaron Smith got a maul try. New Zealand maul goes over, and Smith's the one who dots the ball down. That's disgraceful. 14-3. Artie with a big line break from the restart. Brody popped the pass, put him into space. Talea beats goodness knows how many defenders to go over for the try. 21-3. Italy conceded a penalty. Bowden Barrett from a line-out move to Savia, basically unopposed. 28-3. The Italians were just, their lineup was so bad. The scrum was just, they had Fischetti go off early, which is obviously not ideal because he's one of their better props, and Riccioni was limping half the game. So that doesn't help. But man, just key areas were not great. Smith ends up getting 3 tries. A hat trick from him. That's insane. Talea got that one, like I mentioned. Savia ends up getting 1 in each half. The halftime score was 49-3? That's just, way too... the All Blacks were getting to the point where they were doing, right before halftime, a cross kick to Cody Taylor. That's how comfortable they were. That's how ambitious they were. Relaxed they were. You know what I mean? They probably could have just put it through the hands to have 50 by halftime. Mo'unga was playing the house down. One of the tries when he just subtly holds the ball up, looks like he's going to pump the pass, just holds it for that extra second, draws the defender, puts a man through a gap. It's just, thing of beauty stuff, but not a great game in terms of suspense or being a true test. Run meters at halftime, 366 to 132. Possession, the All Blacks have had 69%. Territory, they've had 62%. There's been 5 clean breaks to none. There's been 17 defenders beaten by halftime. So Italy falling off too many tackles. The All Blacks have missed 3. Penalties conceded as 8 by the Italians, 2 by the All Blacks at halftime. Second half, for about 5 minutes, until maybe 8 minutes, until the Capuozzo try, Italy actually looked all right. They looked decently competitive. They had a bit of ball. The All Blacks conceded a couple of penalties. Brody Retallick was offside at one point. But then he wins the line-out that the Italians throw in, so they kind of missed their chance. But then from their next 5-meter line-out, I think it was Frizzell that stole it. But at least Italy had some territory. Their line-out was still not going great. They finally did get it right on the line out on 47 minutes, which sent a great little line out move. Ioane beat Ioane like Monty on Rico, and then was just able to draw in the defender enough to get Allan into some space, and then Capuozzo. There was some handbags in that one for some reason. I don't know why. It was 49-10. But then any pressure that Italy had from that scoring of the first try in the second half was immediately thrown out the window when Scotty Barrett charged down Varney's box kick, which leads, was Page-Relo with the box kick, which is immediately led to Retallick being able to go over for a try. So the try was immediately cancelled out. Like nothing was going right. Roygaard went close after he came on when Capuozzo was trying to run it out of his own 22. Like when you're that far behind, you're just doing bad mistakes. I don't know, man. It was pretty crazy. I mean, Dalton got one from an Italian bad line out. Coles comes off the bench and ends up getting a couple. One from a nice line out move. He gets one on each wing basically. McKenzie gets one. ALB gets one at the death later on. I mean, Monty only got the last one of the game, which was at least, I don't know, a consolation and stopped the All Blacks from getting 100 points. I don't know that much to say, man. Like, as I said, all the key areas the All Blacks were dominant. The Italian scrums, they won 2 from 8 on their own feed. You're not going to win games like that. They won 6 out of 11 lineouts, and the turnover count was 6-1 in favour of the All Blacks. You're not going to win games like that, man. They tackled at 80%, which is low. I mean, I'm surprised it's as high as that, to be honest, because they were falling off tackles. Sometimes it was just really soft. The All Blacks were 87, which is solid. The All Blacks lineout was 15 from 15. Their scrum was 5 from 6. So, yeah, man, just dominant in key areas. I mean, at least the Italians managed 6 clean breaks in the second half. Defenders beaten finished 31-17. All Blacks have more possession, more territory. They kicked more ball. The Italians didn't kick as much ball as we might have thought. Like, when they played Allan and Garbisi in the 10 and 15 jerseys, you thought they might get their kicking game going a bit more, but I guess they were just so shell-shocked they got nothing going. So, yeah. Individuals, Will Jordan, 135 metres, 4 clean breaks, a defender beaten. Talia, 120 metres, 2 clean breaks, 5 defenders beaten. Savia, 100 metres, 2 clean breaks, 5 defenders beaten. Papali'i, 11 from 11 tackles. Yeah, too much. Ioane had 81 metres, a clean break, and 4 defenders beaten. Negri made 13 from 14 tackles. But, yeah, as I said, I don't know how good prep that is for a big game in a couple of weeks, assuming that's how things pan out. Italy have got France next, when they will need to be a lot better. Kieran Crowley basically just said maybe they just throw that performance in the bin, don't even do a review on it, because, yeah, like with all the build-up, Italy needed to trouble New Zealand in this one. Maybe needed to be close after half an hour, score the first try, maybe, get some penalty, get some scrum work going. Like the All Blacks subs came on and just demolished the Italians at scrum time. It wasn't even a contest. Scrum was on wheels at times for the Italians. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's almost 100 points. It's not supposed to be that way. But, man, the All Blacks look sharp. As I said, I don't know how much to read into it. I don't know how much good that'll do them going into what will undoubtedly be a tight game if they end up playing one of the teams that I mentioned. The Italians disappointing. It was always going to be a tough job for them in Pool A. Hopefully they show a better performance against France, because that's going to get people to turn off the game, and not good. Chuck it in the bin. You guys, let us know your thoughts. How did you reckon it went? Do you reckon this is like a genuine sign that the All Blacks are kind of back to their best, or was this just one of those games when the All Blacks were sharp and the Italians were really poor? I'm genuinely curious to see what you guys think. Let us know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.